Greetings and welcome back to Smartwatch Ticks. We're a YouTube channel on the web at smartwatchticks.com. I've got a smartwatch box, and inside, no doubt, we have a new smartwatch to take a look at today. This one's a relatively nice one. I love the layout. I love some of the bands that it comes with. Yeah, I've already taken it apart and played with it a little bit, and we are going to tell you about it right now. This is a Banggood watch. They sent it to us, a Bakeey L16. So what's it got going for it? Full touch, 360 by 360 HD screen. It's beautiful, very nice, very bright. Does all the other things, heart rate, blood oxygen, all those. It's an IP68 waterproof one. As far as the rest of the specs go, 1.3 inch, we mentioned that, so that makes it a little bit bigger than the little 1.2 inch ones. There's the chipset on it. It's using the Fit Cloud Pro. Going to talk about that at the very end of the video, so especially related to ECG, and I'll put it out here right now. Do not use this watch for ECG other than what the heart rate is that it gives you, but don't use it for the heart rate chart that you get typically with ECG. You've got an alloy watch case, mineral glass screen on it, and a plastic back case. Edible silicone, so if it's really bad, you can always eat your watch band. Ew, that always bothers me when I see that. Couple of colors different, 24-hour automatic monitoring of heart rate. You got steps, calories, distance. Typical smartwatch. These are the languages supported by the watch and also the ones supported by the app. So as we go deeper, we find they have removable bands, charging port, and this dome, covered glass dome with the diodes and what looks like two halves of electrodes that you would use for ECG. But they're under a plastic cover. Well, the good news is that's protecting everything from getting moisture in it, but the bad news is you're not making skin contact with real electrodes. The case could be metal on the sides. The back is definitely plastic. And you've got a nice bezel, says smartwatch, where it usually would say tachometer, and it's got all of the numbers around the edge on it. Inside the box, not much but a 2-pin USB connector that attaches and is not strong enough to hold it, but it's an okay magnetic connection. Just make sure you got it lined up right when you plug it in to charge it. And a little duo Chinese and English manual that says it's a basic smartwatch. You know that when you don't see the model number in the manuals, that it's a generic watch that's been made by a factory and then sold off to a variety of different companies who have then branded it, usually by the recommended name or number, so at least it's easy to find, L16 in this case. There's your QR code to download the app Fit Cloud Pro. You can download it from the listing in our show notes, and that'll take you directly to the Google Play Store. Okay, we've got how to set up notifications in here, some main features of the watch. This one is more text-based as far as manuals go, and we do put all of them up here, as I always mention, just so you have at least one source you can go to that you know you can read the manual for a particular watch, since none of these things are ever archived really as PDFs or available anywhere else on the web. Let's walk through this one now. A single push and hold on the upper button, give it a couple of seconds, and it vibrates, says smartwatch, and you're into your first watch face. Now I think our brightness is relatively low on here, so let's start by increasing the brightness a bit. There's middle, there's full. Oh no, it's got 5 levels. Okay, there's the lowest. I'm going to make it about, what do you say, about right there. Well, it's almost washing out the QR code. Again, you could scan it there if you don't have the manual or you're not near your computer to download it. You can always take it from there. This is information about the watch, the L16, and you've got find your phone and battery level and date and whether you're Bluetooth connected, which we are to the app. When you slide this way, you get a listing of things. Find your phone, a stopwatch and timer, the QR code again, about again, restore to factory and shut down the device, plus the different languages, again, that are supported. And what I really like, and is very rare, it's showing you the English word of the language that it's showing in that language. So we English people can tell the difference between Japanese and Chinese, simplified Chinese, Polish, Italian. It's a subset of the major languages. It's not all of them, of course, but it's a good spattering. So hopefully yours is there if you're non-English speaking. Then you come up and you get any notifications pushed to you from your phone. And to the left, now you get into all of our screens. We've got the step count for the day, and nothing happens when you touch it, but you do have distance and calories. Last night's sleep time, deep and light and total. A page that we'll get into for all of the body measurements, and another page we'll get into for all of the sporting activities. And now we can see the screen is too bright, isn't it? Okay, let's change that down to number 2. And back where we were. Right here, there, that's better. You have a wheel in the middle that when you touch, you get kind of this circular Samsung Galaxy Watch type of an appearance on it, and a second page. So there's more than appears on the first page. When you push that, when you get back to that subset circle here. Then you got a music player, and you've got the temperature in your local area as set in the app. And that is it for here. Right? So we want to come over here and take a look. You got heart rate, and it's going to show you your last value, green diodes. You get the sensor connected over anywhere on your body because you got capillaries running everywhere. You know that. One of the fun places that you get more accurate testing on all of these often is the fleshy part of your thumb over here. Right in that area will give you a good reading, especially if you happen to be a hairy person on your arm. They generally don't have hair or color, body color issues, skin color issues with that. So some of them that aren't set for skin color adaptation or have difficulty with body hair, that's a nice place to take your measurements, which is taking way too long. I'm talking and not really paying attention. But you can see you would get your heart rate there. It comes back to the screen every time. Here's your blood pressure would come in there. Here's your blood oxygen. And again, the last measurement is here. And then here's ECG. And it immediately starts a 30-second countdown as it's attempting to do ECG. This, of course, is a simulated chart. And it didn't have any connection to my body, so it bailed out of it with an error, which is a good thing. But you're going to find out at the end of the video that it's not really doing an ECG, and that's really, really unfortunate. Yeah, we're being hoodwinked yet again, mostly by the FitCloud Pro app, it appears. Okay, let's move on to the fitness. You have all these different type fitnesses, and I can go in, for example, to a walk, and you'll see that you get time and steps. So it's pedometer based. It's not doing any GPS on it. Calories, heart rate, your distance, and your pace. This looks like the distance is in miles because we set that in the app to be British or your imperial, but you're yeah, it's all mixed up. And then you can check to get out of that, and unless you have enough data for it to register, you're not going to get anything. You've got cycling. I come in here and I could do rope jumping. I can come over and I can do swimming, which is interesting. That really means that this watch is designed for underwater use. Nice and bright, really beautiful watch. Calories, heart rate, and time on all of these other non-step oriented activities. That's what you're going to be seeing on here. Check, and we are back. This turns it off and on. This takes you into your running and out. So that's your sports button. You want to press it, then choose which sport you want, then press it, and you'll be into your sport. Press it again and you're out. And of course, this is off and on. What have we missed? Everything here. everything here except ECG and sleep time and so forth. You'll see all this on the app, which is where we are going to go right now. Fit Cloud Pro. Now, we've reviewed this before, and yeah, I did not realize some of what it's doing is what it's doing, so I plan on showing you that at the end of the review, because I know a lot of you aren't like passionate about ECG measurements. But quickly overall, you have your last night's sleep time, and I did sleep with it so you could see how the breakup is. You can click on any of these squares. They're colorized, so you can tell from 2:14 in the morning to 2:25 a.m. I was deep sleep. You see how it's dark, and the awake times and so forth. A nice awake period from 1:13 to almost 2 a.m. All of that's broken out here. You have weekly, monthly summary, and you can send it out somewhere if you want to. You have heart rate, blood pressure, and blood oxygen. All three of these are accessible with a health measurement touch on this one. When you're wearing it, it will do all three readings at once, or you can go into any of them. Blood oxygen is big these days, so you go in here, it shows you your previous measurements, one-time measurements. Yeah, some of these are back here from older watches that have had paired here. The DTX in particular, which suffers from the same ECG issue I'm about to show you, but we didn't know about it when I reviewed it. So if you have a DTX, definitely watch the end as well. So you can start it here. You see your blood oxygen. It's not doing a regular blood oxygen reading like some watches do. However, with not blood pressure either, but you can take incremental. But with your heart rate, there's the option to have continuous heart rate, but this section is just showing you the individual measurements. I'm not sure where that pops up for the continuous. It's in the other review of the DTX where it did that. I may not have that set up for continuous on here. You got your device information, and all of these settings are available for you. You have the dial settings, which we've talked about before. It gives you a whole bunch of different dials you can choose from. You're able to install one of these, but only one of them, to complement the 3 stock watch faces that are in the watch. And after you download them, they appear here in the My Dial, so it's easier to get to them and sync them to your watch offline, because the first thing you got to do is download them, and so you need the network active for that. Twist your wrist to see the time. There, I didn't have enhanced measurements and continuous monitoring turned on, but when you do that, then you start getting the chart of continuous heart rate. Find your band, 12 or 24 hour, restore factory settings, and then mine, of course, is where you set up your stuff. This is where you can tie it to Google Fit, so your activities can go over there, set your goals, your units, and so forth. So let's get into the ECG thing. For those of you not interested, we're basically done. Check the show notes for a buying link if you're interested in this one. Otherwise, hang in with us and we'll show you all that again at the very end. I'm going to take you into ECG, and I'm going to show you something right off the bat, the chart. Now, it looks like a real ECG chart, and no doubt it probably is. However, it's only one chart. At least it looks this way to me. I want your guys' estimation on it, okay? It's got a beginning. Now, pay attention to the beginning. Comes in here, has a deep dip, has a little bump there, comes up here, plateaus, cascades. Look at the shape of all of this before it hits that first peak. Now, in a real ECG, this is noise of when you're settling the watch down, and then finally it'll get stable and it'll give you the ECG, and it should be different on every single reading. So I'm going to take the most recent reading here, and I'm going to show you that chart. You watching it? And I could say start playback, and it'll just play back the whole thing. And I can go here, and I can show it to you really big, and all of this stuff, you know, there you go. You got it all that way. But what we're going to do is just primarily look at the beginning of this for each of these charts. Here, let's jump in. This was September. Let's go back to the other watch. And look, got exactly the same pattern on that particular day. Look here, same pattern. Exactly the same day, or different day, but same ECG pattern. So I'm conjecturing, folks, that although the devices and the app are claiming to do ECG charts that in reality they are simply presenting you with one stock ECG waveform and giving you a guidance on ECG knowledge. And because this waveform is basically okay, you could be misled to believe that you have no issues with your heart. And that's why I want to flag this. I don't know any other reviewer that goes deep into this. I rarely ever see any of them actually test these watches, and none of them do ECG charts to show you how they work. And I guarantee you nobody else is actually trying to tell you if they're fake or not. But I'm calling it because these are the readings from the DTX. These are the readings from this particular watch. And to confirm it, I have it here. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to show you that we have a problem. Still with me? Okay. I know some of you care. Some of you are getting, can I say pissed off? Irritated. Some of you may be getting irritated that they would actually go to this level of this depth to fake this. But here we go. I'm going to hit start. It's going to get loud. It's got audio on it. Okay. Fake chart there. You saw the beginning of that same one there. You'll find that this is exactly the same all the way through. 20 seconds left. The only thing that it's really doing is giving you heart rate, and it's right here. And theoretically, if that's ECG heart rate, then if I just take it off and cover the diodes but don't touch the plates, it should stop working. Okay, it went back to 0. That was the 30 seconds. Oh, it gives you this health data and stuff too. We talked about that, and it's not stored anywhere on the watch. It's just a one-time screen. I'm going to hit start again. I've got my fingers over the diodes, but I'm not touching the supposed electrical plates there. Here's our waveform. Everything the same. Now, if I'm getting a heart rate here, then that means the heart rate is PPG. It's coming strictly from the diodes and not from the electrical plates. Oh, and those of you who know, ECGs require you to touch an electrical plate on the opposite side of the watch. Well, look at that. Okay, it's not giving me a heart rate. Okay, maybe it does need to have the whole thing covered. But for ECG, an electrocardiogram, you need the signal to come from across the heart, which means you have to touch the case. Now, on the DTX, I did that thinking that it was actually working. But on this one, there's nothing that says touch the case. There's no electrode anywhere. So when I'm running it, I'm getting the same legitimate ECG chart, and I'm not touching the case. Now I'm covering the diodes. Let's see what happens. There. Okay, now I'm getting a heart rate. All right, so I can't tell for sure that the heart rate is coming from the diodes or somehow from those two plates in the back, because now I'm touching that whole circle. It didn't seem to give me a heart rate when I just touched over the diode. So the best you can do with this watch is say that you're getting a heart rate from ECG, but you notice none of these show the heart rate that you get when you're using ECG. And when you go into heart rate, these heart rates are done when you hit start, and it uses the diode technology just by itself without any ECG intervention at all. So I'm saying skip the ECG altogether, gang. If you have a watch and it's using this app, FitCloud Pro, and it says it does ECG, and you see ECG charts in the app, question it. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Question it. It's really sad when we can't trust that the data we're getting is legitimate, because it kind of invalidates everything else. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing on this one, and it applies to the DTX as well. All that said, let me have some fun with those of you who are left and show you the watch faces, because They're pretty cool. This is a very nice screen. Like I said, I don't have the brightness all the way up, but it's nice outdoors with the brightness full. I've got it balanced for you for the video. And this was the one that I really liked. It's the, looks like a new one that they just put in. Digital, date, day of the week, battery level, all of this kind of stuff here, including your heart rate right on the screen. But it's not updated regularly. It's when you actually take the heart rate, it'll show that last number on here. But nonetheless, a beautiful screen. It's got the twist your wrist to see the time thing going, and very nice watch overall, lightweight and thin, and it's called the L16. It's a Bakeey watch coming from Banggood. Nice product. My only concern is about the ECG, and if you don't need or use that, then just ignore it. Other than that, oh, by the way, you can't take an ECG really from the watch and see anything. It says see the app. But when you go to the app, you just got the fake chart. So yeah, just skip the ECG and you got yourself a nice, relatively inexpensive watch. And check for discounts in the show notes if we've got them, and we usually do. I'll list them for you there. Thanks for watching, gang. Thanks for sticking with me and putting up with my frustrations. But I truly want to try to be as fair and honest with you guys as possible. And when I smell a fake and I see a fake, I want to call it a fake. And yeah, that's what we did today. All right, we'll see you again soon.